a little careful for that. 2 medkits, so. And what I'll say, the first thing I'll say for Trickster, just watching, cool. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I appreciate the sub. I appreciate the positivity. It really means a lot. First thing I'm going to say for Trickster is that there's a good bit about Trickster, unless you get really, really good with Trickster, where you kind of rely on survivors to make mistakes. Is a 4.4 movement speed killer, Trickster really struggles around the right obstacles, and survivors who know that can really give you a difficult time and loop you for a while. I'm not great with Trickster, but you know, I'll play him because he's cool. Like I think almost all the killers are cool. And to be really good, you want to make sure that you can try and thread in knives, and even if you just hit 1 or 2 knives, preventing the knife count from going down and just getting 1 or 2 at a time can really build up that damage for you. But I find one of the harder things for Trickster is making sure you're applying good map pressure. So using perks that can create havoc around the map, I think, is a really big deal. I think the Scourge Hook Pain Resonance could be really good. I think something like Ruin, if you can kind of play around it a little bit, is good. You need something to make generators scary for survivors. Otherwise, I oftentimes find that I'm just getting crushed on them. For the knife throwing, the biggest thing is that Trickster has a little recoil, so when he throws one knife, he's going to like jump back a little bit, and you just need to get used to. Are you, Shira? Are you on console or are you on PC? I think you're on one of the consoles, if I recall correctly. And this is just a difficult map in general, but we're gonna try and make the best of it. This is generally a pretty survivor-sided map. Console, Xbox, okay. So I'm not sure if there's aim assist for this with Trickster. But like here, if you're going against Trickster, cool. So first thing, if you can get just close throws like that, lots of value out of that, right? The second thing, what you want to watch for, and this is something anybody who plays on console, like it'd be great if you guys could give input on this. But every time Trickster throws, you see how my camera shifts with that second dagger? Anytime you're throwing, you need to kind of get used, you do kind of a wiggle. There's like a little shuffle you'll probably do with your... There's a little shuffle you'll have to do. Appreciate Kate trying. Just to try and keep it in the same spot. So this Kate knows what's up. But the big thing is just practicing that. And there's honestly nothing wrong with just getting close and just focusing on close hits. I'm not a very good Huntress main. I really struggle with her ranged attacks. And so I just don't throw unless I'm closer. The other part that's tough is while you have your daggers out, Trickster is slower with his daggers out. So you have to deal with that a little bit as well. Now, the other thing you really want to be conscious of is where you hook survivors. If you have the choice between 2 hooks and you can hook a survivor out in the open, it's going to be way better for you. And it's going to be good for you because if survivors come for the rescue, they have to come out in the open, and that puts them in a situation where they really have to risk themselves. Because even if I'm not accurate with knives, if I have this open area to throw, I can cause absolute havoc just chucking knives and hoping that some of them hit. So like I could do just keep so like there, you can just create a very, very dangerous situation. And Trickster's really good at transferring. So if you see somebody going for the unhook, you can very easily transfer the throws from the person who's unhooking and go straight for the person as they run away. Even if you don't get the downlink if they have borrowed time, you can at least trigger the borrowed time and force them to then use that as a resource. Is this her last hook? Is she dead on hook? Does anybody remember? I think she is. I'll leave her. I'll go for someone else. And then the other thing... A lot of people will treat Trickster because he's got knives. Like you have to throw the knives. Honestly, M1ing is great. And oftentimes I'll see people who are streaming pull their knives out and start throwing them when you could just tap your left mouse button and get a hit. Like, why pull knives out when I have Dwight in such a short chase? Sometimes M1ing is the right choice. People think that because they have knives, they have to use them. You just don't. I have started using Coup on Trickster, which I really, really like on a slower killer like Trickster. Obviously, your knives are very powerful, but if you use coup de grace on him, you get that extra distance when M1ing, and it can help you close the gap on survivors when you're slower because you get this really long swing that you'd normally miss, and you can just really create some powerful problems for them, and survivors who think they're safe, especially against an M1 killer, end up not being safe. So like here, I'm not going to throw daggers because I've got her out in a pretty tough spot. I'm just going to M1 her. The daggers probably would work, and I've got plenty of daggers, but like, I haven't seen anything that tells me she has dead hard, so M1ing is just a little bit easier there. And really, let's talk to you about what really helped me this match. This area I was in is like perfect for Trickster. If you can get a hook in an open area, you want to play around the open area. If I let the survivors take me into these houses a lot, if I let them take me into that main building, they've got so many tight turns where they can break vision. It's a huge problem for me. If I get them out here, I have so much range to hit them, and yes, they have things to crouch behind, but anytime a survivor like comes around here and crouches to break line of sight, that's just me catching up to them, right? And that's me getting a lot of value being able to do that. So it makes the most sense for Trickster. If you can get the hook like here, use this open area to your advantage. I can go check these other things and still be a threat to the survivor out there. And so you see right now how this is camera motion, so it's going both up and it's going side to side. So just get used to pulling down just a little bit and get used to like kind of wiggling, in your case, the controller back and forth a little bit. It's like if you play any first-person shooters, you have a kickback. What is it? Recoil. You have recoil you're dealing with, and there's just some practice that goes into using that recoil. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is Cabinaru. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. You can find me on Twitch or the next video.